you would have saved a total of 32.2 million naira. So it's a very juicy offer, right? It's a good deal. You're saving 50,000 naira from your salary, and you keep saving that for 1 year, for 20 years, and you have 32.2 million. How many of us would like to have that kind of amount in our account? 32.2 million naira in your account. How many of us? You can unmute yourself if you're in a very quiet place, please. Or you can just type yes in the comment section.
If it's $32.2 million, yes. If it's naira, I'm
Exactly.
not interested in 32 million naira.
Well,
But
depending on the
dollars,
currency
yes.
you're dealing with, right? So, but then for a typical salary earner in Nigeria, I think that would be a very fair, deal for that person to have, right? So, but the the real question that they do not want you to ask when you save using that medium is that Robert Kiyosaki said there are three sides to every story. There is a side that you are told, a side that you believe, and then there is the truth. So the truth of this is that you would have that 32.2 million naira in your account in 20 years from now. But the real question is, what would it be worth in 20 years from now? And there is a very simple way to determine that. So let's say if we go back to a year like 1985, 1986, thereabouts, where minimum wage was around 200 naira, and some people could earn up to 500, 1,000 naira per month. And the person is able to save, say, at least 3,500 naira per annum from their salary. That person then decides that, okay, this 3,500 naira, I want to use it to invest in a property. But then they have an investment expert that says, oh, you don't have to, necessarily take this money here. You can, put it in pension and see what it will yield for you in years to come. And then the person decides to do that. In 20 years, saving up 3,500 naira every year from that minimum wage kind of salary would earn you 224,600 naira in 20 years, using the same calculation that we used earlier for the 50K salary pension savings. Sorry, some people are still waiting. Oh, okay. So sorry, I'm trying to admit them now. Yeah. Okay, so like I was saying, if you save up 3,500 naira every year from in 1985, by the way, and 3,500 naira in 1985 is not a back pocket change, or you go to visit somebody and they give you money to take home and it's 3,500. No, it can't be that kind of amount that year. Right. Right. So you save up after 20 years, which is like 2005, and you've been able to save up 224,600. That money, that 224,600 cannot even would not be worth a lot in 2005. So if you were supposed to buy a car with 3,500 in 1985, which would be enough to do in 1985, but you decide to put that money in pension to then you receive 224,600 in 2005, you would not be able to afford a car by that time. You can't buy a brand new car or fairly used, you can't even buy any kind of car with 200,000 naira in 2005. And that's why it is good to save, but it is a very bad strategy. So there is a quote, a very famous quote from Mr. Ezekiel, who says that savings, even though is a good habit, it is a bad strategy. So it is better to save up for an investment rather than saving as an investment. So if you save up your money for a year, invest in something. Save up your money for another year, just put it in an investment. When you're saving up, targets for something that you want to use it to do, rather than save up and just leave it there, that you would eventually come and get it with interest and the like. So that's why some people want a lot of money so that they can retire in style and don't have to worry about all of these things that we just analyze. in 20 years from now. So in this room, we have everybody in this room is an entrepreneur. Even if you are a staff of an organization, the difference is just that you are an entrepreneur with one client, and your employer is an entrepreneur with a lot of clients. And you would not be able to understand this until you get a letter saying that we do not require your service again. And that's when you realize that you you are an entrepreneur with one client. Your client is your employer, and you've been valuable to them. Your service were needed during the period where you have been working with them. So everybody in this room is an entrepreneur. So, because this is a business session, a business class, would like to, we usually would give out the very first module of the Lean Simple Strategy Factory class, which is this particular one that we'll be talking about now. So I'd like to start by asking this question, because I know majority of us here, we do business, we're business owners. So I'd like to ask, what is a business? Anybody wants to answer what a business is? You can unmute yourself if you're in a quiet place, or you can type in the comment section. What is a business? What is a business? Anybody wants to help us answer that question? By the way, any answer you give is correct. As far as you're doing business and you've been able to, stay for some time in business, so any answer you give is correct. What is a business? I'll just take one person and then every other person can type in the comment section. What is a business? Anybody? Okay, I think I have one hand raised. Okay, Mr. Atoba, you want to help us with the definition of a business?
Yes, an organization that provides goods and services to the public
An
in exchange of
organization.
an
Okay.
organization or an individual
Okay.
that provides goods and services in exchange of money or for the purpose of making profit.
Thank you. Thank you very much, sir. I'm still seeing another hand here. Olaonikbekun Stephen, do you want to help us with the definition of a business? Your hand is raised. And Dr. Nono.
Okay.
Oh, okay, fantastic.
I just want to say business is for the purpose of making profits. Business is just for the purpose of any good and services and making your brand known.
Thank you. Thank you. Domiciliate services says a set of activities geared towards making profits. Thank you. So I have a definition here, a very, very cool definition, fantastic one at that, that we usually share with people. And because it is all encompassing, I'm going to be sharing that with all of us now. I don't know who is signed in as Lim Simple Business Academy, but whoever that is, please, can you help me admit the join? I'm getting distracted trying to admit people, please. Thank you. Okay, so what is a business? According to Josh Kaufman in his book called The Personal MBA, it's a very good read. He says he defines business in 5 different ways, and I'm going to be sharing each of that, and we are going to be discussing each of these points tonight. So it says a business is a repeatable process that does these 5 things. 1, it creates and delivers something of value. 2, that other people want or need. 3, at a price they are willing to pay. 4, in a way that satisfies the customer's needs and expectations. And lastly, so that the business brings in enough profit to make it worthwhile for the owners to continue operation. So we're going to be taking this one after the other, to sort of understand exactly what this definition is about. Sorry, whoever, I don't know who signed in as Lim Simple Business Academy. Please, can you admit people, please? Thank you. Okay, so the first point here is a business is a repeatable process that creates and delivers something of value. So this is just simply put, how valuable are your offers? Like, what's your idea, your business viability? Is your business, does it serve a huge expanding market? You know, the thing you're offering in your business, in your organization, how viable is it? Who is it serving? And you can determine this by just, a simple way to check is to check the nation's population. You know, a situation where we have a lot more younger generations where people are giving birth to, I don't know what they call this new generation. I think Gen Alpha or something. Yeah. So with that kind of situation, we know that we need an industry like agri to expand. We need the housing unit to expand. We need all of this other kind of industry to expand, the tech, the e-commerce space. They are going to blow up. But for somebody who is into situation like doing business center, recharge card type of business, you have to understand that the world is already evolving past that, kind of business and that industry. So you have to find a way to, move out of that industry. So you have to always check the idea viability, the business viability, what you are offering the general public. Is it still in its time? Is it what people want? So, and to check the business viability, there are ways to ascertain that. One of them is, like I mentioned, does the business serve a huge expanding market? For instance, the typical way, I wish I can use my pen here. Sorry, just so I can explain this. Um, draw, draw, draw. Draw, draw, draw. Oh, okay, great. I think I got something. So a typical industry is usually in this form, you know. So if you go into an industry or you want to start a business and you're starting at this point, it is not the best to usually go into a business either at this point or at this point. The best time to start a business is usually somewhere here all the way. And the reason is because if you go into a business when it is at this point, the industry is already dying. The case of business center, recharge card that I mentioned. So they are at this stage where the business is going out of industry. So you don't want to stay or start a business in this particular phase. And if you start a business when it is at this phase, then that means you have to, educate the industry, you have to educate the market because they don't even understand what the business is about at that period. So, and educating the market is quite expensive. So the best time to get into any industry is when the industry is huge and expanding at this point, right? So that's the best time to get into a market. So, and that's the best way to check if your business idea is viable. Like I mentioned, you just have to, check the nation's population. There are other ways to check, by the way, but then you can that's a very simple way to, determine whether the business you are doing is in its time or it serves a huge expanding market. The other thing that you also need to check when you're checking your business viability is if it can be built into a unique product. So can it be built into a product where people don't want your product category? They want your product category, but they want your own product particularly. The situation of where somebody wants to buy a phone, but they want to buy an iPhone or they want to buy a Samsung. So they do not want just a phone. They want an iPhone. They want a Samsung. They are very specific with what they want. So can your product also be built into a unique product where people are not just requiring or requesting for your product category? They want your product. They want you. So that's another way to build a viable business. Then the third one is the idea in its time. Remember the diagram that I did earlier where you have to get in at this point. So that's that. So you have to check whether the business is in its time so that you don't have to spend a lot of money educating the market. Take for instance, when the likes of this social media platform to go, I5, all of those things, when they were coming up, they educated the market, but when the market was matured enough, they could not, compete. When the likes of Facebook and Twitter, Instagram came on, they could not afford to compete in that market again. The market already outgrew them because they had to do the education, and it's very expensive when you educate the market. The fourth one here is, does it give you leverage? So everybody here wants something that can, give you that can you want to build a business that can give you the capacity to have freedom. You don't want to be the one that would always want to, attend to your business at every point in time. You want to build structures in place. You want to, improve people's capacity in your business so that they can take over some sort of load from you, so that you're not the only one that knows how to, operate your business. You're not the only one thinking about the growth of your business. You have other people that can do that for you so that you can have leverage freedom to do other things that you want to do. Right. So that takes us into the second point of the definition, which is that other people want or need. After creating value, something of value for people, do they want your offers? Do they want what you're bringing to the market? How needed are your offering? I gave the instance of somebody wanting to buy a phone and then somebody wanting an iPhone. Somebody wanting to buy a car and somebody wants to buy a Mercedes. These things, people are very clear on what they want. So how needed are your offers? How can you build your offering such that people would require to, get what you want to bring to the market, and not you're not just bringing what every other person is already bringing into the market. You have to, and you have to do this by, by creating good structures in your business, by creating them, like we highlighted, a unique selling product, build good customer relations so that people would want to always, come back to you. Then the third thing here is at a price they are willing to pay. There is this also famous quote in our organization that's famous everywhere, by the way. Nothing is cheap, nothing is expensive. The difference is who is buying, right? So if you have a product and you're complaining that even before you take it to the market, somebody in your team or is already saying, I think this price is expensive, then there is a problem already, because that means that you're not even talking to the right audience in the first place. And even your staff, they have to understand whatever price point you put on your product so that they don't have that mindset to start with that something is expensive. Because if they understand what goes into the pricing of that product, then they would not have that mindset. And immediately they have that mindset, it is transferable to the client they want to even sell to. So that's a closed deal already, a bad deal. So nothing is cheap, nothing is expensive. It depends on who is buying. And Abraham Maslow came up with this hierarchy of need to help us understand that. So if for instance, now if I want to eat and I have say 1,000 or 1,500 naira, I would eat. I'm somewhere down here on this in the psychological needs, because I just want to, fill my stomach, and I have 1,000 naira. That's what I have at that moment. I would eat. I'll just go to one roadside food store, get something, fill up my stomach, I'm fine. But if I have, say, about say 3,000 to 5,000 naira, I would also eat, you know, because I can go into maybe like a Chicken Republic, I'll get refuel, get something, I'll be fine. One meal. 5K, I'm fine. If I have up to say maybe 15,000 naira and I still want one food, I will still eat. I can go into maybe like an Ocean Basket, some of this other type of restaurants. I think the place is also moving into that into that formation now. One meal I would still eat 15,000 naira. And then if I have maybe like a 50, 70,000 naira, 80,000 naira, I'll still eat. Still one meal. I'll go into maybe like a hotel, Marriott. In fact, the hotel food, their lunch price now is ridiculous. You want to check yourself. you know, Still one meal you would eat and you'll be fine. 50K to 80K, you'll be fine. And if you still have maybe about 500,000 naira and it's just one meal you want to eat, you will still eat. There are restaurants that would, cater for this, for different kind of people at every point that they are. So people exist at different level based on the amount of their disposable income, the amount of money that they have to spend per time. So if I'm serving somebody at this self-actualization level, then my marketing should not be focused on people that are in love and belonging.
Yeah, I'm the one that
Because
got in behind that.
sorry, how to mute everybody?
Where I tell my truth.
Sorry, please, can you mute yourself, sir?
Okay. So I was not wanting.
Um,
How can it be that one when
sorry, apologies. Let me try and mute everybody.
fair.
I'm finding it hard.
I get care with care.
Please, you can mute him at your hand, please.
Yes, I'm trying to do that. It's supposed to be here, somewhere here. Just try clicking on this. Okay. Okay, I think we're good. I can't figure it out yet, but I'll keep trying. So, like I was saying, if you're trying to serve somebody um in this space, in safety and need, somebody that can afford 5,000 naira meal for one meal, 5,000 naira for one meal, then your marketing should not target somebody in esteem or self-actualization level. Because that person, if your product is serving a 5,000 naira one meal person and you're targeting somebody here, that person will consider your product too cheap and they might even consider it dangerous, right? But if you're supposed to serve somebody in self-actualization and then you're targeting somebody in love and belonging, somebody that can afford 15K or even 50K meal, then that person will consider your product too expensive. So that's why it is important to understand where you are at every point and just focus your marketing to the right people per time. So you have to be able to figure out at what level you're currently serving your customers so that you can target the right kind of people for the business, so that you don't get people telling you that they can't afford to pay your price or your price is too cheap for them to pay because they feel like it is dangerous or something for them. So at a price people are willing to pay, nothing is cheap, nothing is expensive. It just depends on who is buying your products, and you have to figure that out to be able to, carry out a good business. And then the next point is in a way that satisfy the customer needs and expectation. Are people leaving your business satisfied? And a simple way to determine this is to just check the number of repeats and referred sales that you have in your business. I'm not saying that you should not get new sales in the business. I'm only saying that the number of people that come back to buy again from you would help you understand how satisfied your customers are living your business when you serve them, how satisfied you leave them when you serve them. So that means if they can refer somebody to you, that means you've done something good to that particular customer. If they come back to buy, that means they are very impressed or they are satisfied, or what you did for them is something that they will experience again. And then lastly, so that the business brings in enough profit to make it worthwhile for the business owner to continue operation. You know, how profitable is the business? Because profits are the cost of the future. Some of us, when we, at the end of the year, when we calculate whatever we've done in our business and we can record some small margin, then we think that we have arrived. Somebody wants to launch a new car, somebody wants to, buy air, somebody wants to do a lot of these things, then we start to, spend money, even though the business has recorded a number of profits or that profit. It is important to know that whatever profits the business make is what will determine the sustainability of the business, is what will determine how long the business can survive. Because every money that is made from the business and reinvested into the business would continue to keep the business in operation. Some of us, we need that profit to, project or try to, plan for the coming year. So instead of spending that money to, I'm not saying that you should not celebrate success in your business, you should not celebrate, but then you have to also consider the source of that celebration that you want to do. So profit at the cost of the business. Wealth is measured in time and not numbers. So to help us better understand everything that has been said so far, I'd like us to take this activity. It's going to take us about maybe say 10, 15, max 20 minutes to sort of round up this meeting. But this activity is very, 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 very important. And I promise if you can, go through with the activity till the end, you would add a completely different mindset about what you need to do with your business and even yourself personally. So what I need us to do now is get a notepad and a pen, and then comments ready so we can start the activity. Everything on the screen for the activity, I would explain one after the other. So I just need you to get a pen and a notepad and comments ready so we can start the activity. A pen and a notepad and comments ready. Can you hear me, please? Can anybody still hear me?
We can hear you, Abisola.
Oh, fantastic. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, Dr. Nono is ready. Lucky is ready. Thank you. Lofisat is ready. Thank you. Okay, so we're
I'm
going to
ready.
go. Thank you.
I
Thank
can hear
you.
you. I can hear
Thank
you.
you. Thank you. Okay, so on your notepad, you don't have to write everything on the screen. I'm going to explain everything one after the other. So the first thing we have here is rent. So everybody here, we would usually pay our rent annually, correct? I need to fix this thing. Okay, so everybody here will usually pay our rent annually. So I want you to take that figure that you pay annually and divide it 12. So the amount you get after dividing by 12 is what you will write down. So if you pay, if your rent is 600,000 naira per annum, then you divide by 12, you would get 50,000 naira. So 50,000 naira is what you will write for rent. So when you do that, when you've done that, I want you to write RT done. RT done. It's important that we put the code, the RT code there because of every other thing that would be, writing on the list. RT done. I'll be waiting in the comments to see who is done. Dr. Nono is done. So I said that you would take the amount you pay for rent and divide it by 12. Whatever you get is what you will write down. Once you're done, please write RT done. Okay, thank you. Thank you. So the next item here is transportation. For transportation, some of us that have car, we would usually buy fuel the car every week, or depending on the frequency that you do. If you fuel it every week, I want you to take that amount and multiply it by 4. That would give you the amount you spend on fuel every month on your car. And if it's more frequent, just multiply by the number of times that you fuel the car with the amount. And for those of us that do not have car, so if you go to work by public transport, there is a certain amount that you spend every day on that public transport to go to work. So I want you to take that amount and multiply by the number of days that you go to work. In some cases, 25 or 30. Just multiply it. The amount you get, I want you to write it down for transportation. And once you're done, I want you to write TP done. So if you're fueling your car weekly, or the frequency at which you fuel your car, multiply it by that frequency. If you use public transport, multiply by the number of days that you go to work. And once you're done, I want you to write TP done. TP done. Oh, great. Dr. Nono, thank you. TP done. Any other person done? Officer at TP done. Mr. Bright, TP done. Messi, TP done. Great. So the next item here is utilities. So utilities include your light bill, your estate bills, generator fuel or diesel or whatever you use for your gen, and your cable TV, DSTV, GoTV, StarTimes, anything you use. So those are utilities. So I want you to put together the amount you spend on these things monthly, add them all together and write it down. So once you're done with that, I want you to write UT done for utilities. UT done. UT done. For utilities, your light bill, your estate bills, your generator maintenance and fueling, your cable TV, everything. UT done. Oh, fantastic. Fantastic. Please just stay with me. We're almost done. Then we have feeding cost. So feeding cost is not your grocery, not the grocery you buy in your house. Feeding cost is sometimes when you are at work, you want to eat lunch out, you want to buy something to eat, that's feeding. I'm sure there is an amount in our head that we spend almost daily. So just put together that amount, multiplied by the number of days you go to work or to your office. Okay, multiply by the number of days that you go to your office, which is about 25 to 50 days, and then write it in front of feeding. And once you're done with that, write FD done. FD done. Feeding is not groceries. It's just the kind of food outside your home. FD done. Fantastic. Great. So now we have groceries. So groceries is usually a very large budget for a lot of us, especially those that have children, So I want you to put together what you spend on food stuff, toiletries, everything, and then write it down. So once you're done with that, I want you to sit down. So your toiletries, your food stuff, your everything you spend on grocery shopping. So I want you to put that together and write GC done. GC done. Good. We're almost there. Well done. Okay. So the next big item on this list is school fees for those that have children or those that are still, building themselves up, doing some learning and development. So for those that have children in primary and secondary school, you would usually pay the school fees 3 times in a year. So that's term one, term two, and term three. So I want you to add all three term fee together and divide by 12. That would give you the amount you pay every month. Every month for the school fees. So term one, term two, term three, add it together and divide it by 12. And if you have a child in university, if it's an annual fee, you can divide by 12. If it's per semester, you can add together for 2 semesters and divide, no, by 12 rather, to get the monthly figure. So once you're done with that, I want you to write SF done. SF done. Good, good. Well done. And Damilola Yusuf. SF done for school fees. And by the way, sorry. So you have to multiply this by the number of children that you have. If you have 2 children in school, you have to do for each child. If you have 3, you have to do for each child. So there is no buy one get one free school. So please just add that. So if you have 2 children, please do that. SF done, and we'll move on to the next one. So the next one here is personal expense. Personal expense is anything you spend on yourself. You buy clothes, you buy wigs, you buy shoes, ashwabi, pedicure, all of those things are personal expense. So I want you to just put an amount on that and just write it down. Once you're done with that, I want you to write PE done. PE done for personal expense. Oh, some of us are just finishing calculating our our school fees. Fantastic. So for personal expense, I said that you buy clothes, shoes, hair, pedicure, manicure, makeup, anything personal expense. So write PE done. Oh, great. Some of us are catching up. Great, great. Okay. So the next item here is child care expense. So child care expense is anything you spend on your child that is not associated with the school fees you calculated. So this would include the child's nanny, extracurricular activities, any other thing that you spend on your child that is not school fees. Childcare expense. So I want you to put that cost down and write CC done. CC done. I think we have 2 or 3 more to write and we're done. CC done. Any other person done? So we can move. Fantastic. Well done, well done. Keep going. So the next thing here is communication. Communication is how much you spend on airtime, data. So I think that is also a large budget for some of us, especially with the hybrid remote working situation that we're in now. So airtime and data, any amount you spend on airtime and data is communication. So once you put that number down, I want you to write CM done. CM done for communication. CM done. Well done, Miss Tina. Well done. Any other person done? Nofisa Talao, well done. CM done. Well done, well done. So the next one here is giving. So I know that some of us will think that we don't give a lot, or we can't put a certain number to giving. But trust me, if you look at the pattern with which you've given in the last 3 to 6 months, you would find a consistency with the amount. So giving includes your tithe, your money you give to parents, to siblings, to friends, urgent 2Ks, all of this are giving. So I wanted to just put a number, an amount to that, and write it down. So once you write that, I want to write GV done. GV done. Well done. GV done. So, and the last thing on my list here is other expense. Other expense is any other thing that I have not mentioned here on this list. You know, some of us we have gardeners, we have drivers, you know, we go on vacations, all of this, any other expense that is not mentioned on this list. So you can just put an amount to that and write it down. So once you put that amount down, I want you to write all done. All done. So once I get the response for that, now we'll move to the next, a very important question that I'm going to ask all of us tonight. Fantastic. So I want you to just calculate everything that you've written down, the number, just calculate everything, and I want to get feedback from some of us. Calculate it and let's get your feedback. You can type in the comment section if you're not in a quiet place. How do you feel? How do you feel with that amount that you're seeing? Because this is actually what we spend every month, if not more, because some of these costs we don't even remember them now, but we'll remember later. So, but this is what everybody on this call that has gone through these activities spend every single month. How do you feel? How do you feel? I like to get. Oh, Dr. No, it is well. It is well. It is well. The first time I did this activity for myself, in fact, the impact is part of what has changed how I'm living today. Oh, you don't have to write it out, oh, officers. I just want to get your feedback. Your, like, how do you feel after calculating it? You don't have to tell us what you've calculated. Exactly. You know, you have to check. You have to do this check and balances at every point. You know, it's even advisable to do this activity almost every quarter so that you know when you are, going off key. So the question I want to ask us this evening now is that amount that you wrote down, that you calculated now, does your business pay that amount to you as salary? Oh, you can't imagine, Mr. Agbebright. It is incredible. It is unimaginable. Does your business pay you that amount as salary? I'm not even saying as profit now. Like, if you're paying yourself salary, can your business afford to pay you that amount as salary? No. And if your business is not paying you that amount of money as salary, the next time you want to pray against spiritual problem or family people or village people, please just leave them. They have nothing to do with this. They are the village people that is sent to destroy your business by yourself, right? So that's why, and that's the reason why we are here, and that's what the strategy factory is looking to solve for you, the problem we want to solve with the strategy factory program. And the next important question, the very important question that I would ask now and everybody would go home is, how big does your business need to get to be able to pay 20 people in your organization such an amount of money every month? How big can you imagine how big your business needs to get to be able to afford to pay 20 people in your organization that amount of money as salary? And this is where it all begins. This is where the big dream starts from. Because the truth is, every single person working in your organization, the least that they want to have is what they see you have. If you're driving a very nice car, best believe that the people in your organization, every day they see that car, they have at some point in time thought about having that kind of car for themselves. If you're living in a certain environment and they know that place, they have at some point in their life thought about living in that kind of environment if they are not living there yet. So that's why for business, as business owners, we have to all constantly think on how we can build a big business to accommodate the dream of our people, the dream of our staffs. Because some of us, we want to employ people, we want them to have ownership mindset, and what do they even call that thing? We want them to treat the business as theirs, but we're not thinking about what they even want, to be able to think about the business as their own business. We have not thought about how big our business needs to get to be able to help them, think that they can help us manage the business, to help us grow the business. So all we want is commitment from them. We are not thinking about rewarding them. Sorry. We're not thinking about what they also want, in life. So, and that's why you have to think big. You have to consider building a big business that can accommodate the dream of the people that work for you, so much that they can afford exactly what you can afford at some point. Oh yes, the recording will be available, so you'll be able to access it, Mr. Yekini. So, and that's exactly what the Strategy Factory is here to help you solve. How to, we'll be treating different classes on how to help you build a big business to be able to, do these things effortlessly, to be able, well, not effortlessly, by the way, because you have to work hard to be able to do it. But at least you have to, first of all, grow the mindset. You have to, first of all, change gears in your own mind, think on what to do, how to grow a big business to be able to afford to pay these people, to accommodate their dreams, so that you see, if you build a big business, if you decide to build a big business today, right, and you decide to say, okay, I want to pay 20 people this amount of salary, not right away, by the way, not right away, but you decide that, okay, in so amount of time, if we can hit this, I would like to do this for my people. Guess what? You are not building the business, you're not building this for just yourself anymore. And if you try to make people big too, if you try to help them live a certain type of life, good life, it would the ripple effect will show on the business. It will come back to the business. So at the Strategy Factory, we would be treating 35 different topics, covering ranging from strategies to, networking to marketing, all of these things that would, help your business, grow. Our sessions, by the way, they are very, very, very fun, right? Very fun, I promise, because we have different activities that will infuse into the sessions. It's a 10-hour long class, but trust me, nobody has in our record has ever said that, oh, they want to leave because they are bored or they are tired, or people don't even realize when the time is up. We would be the ones to announce to them that, okay, you've spent, this amount of time in class. So they are fun, they are engaging. These are pictures from some of our, classes. So if you decide to come to the Strategy Factory, you would get all of this. So that's including tea break lunch in a hotel. You would have access to the full recording of the class. Sometimes when some of us we go to trainings, we go to workshops or seminars and the like, it's not everything that is said in class that we get to put in our head at the same time, right? So we need to sometimes go back to our notes, go back to videos or recordings or whatever material we can get. So that's why we also record everything from the beginning till the end. The full 10-hour sessions, you would get them recording after the class. I think a week or two after the class, you would have access to the recording forever, right? You would also be admitted into the Lim Simple alumni community. This alumni community, we were just putting together the numbers some days ago, and Ms. Evike and the team, and we realize how much has happened in that community. Just a WhatsApp group where transactions happen, where people facilitate, where people just do business, with each other. And from our record from last year, we've done over 5 billion worth of transaction in that community. This is not updated yet. So you will be admitted into that community. You would have access to, do business with other business people in the community. You would have access to a manual, like I mentioned earlier. We have resources, so you get the recording, you get a manual that has all the training content. Then you would then get a one post strategy session with one of our in-house consultants. So after going through the training, sometimes we find it hard to narrow it down to our business. We find it hard to to know exactly where to start from, right? So this one-on-one session with one of our in-house consultants would help you figure out exactly how to start with anything you've learned in class, how to implement in your business, whatever you think you need to do for your business at that particular point in time. After attending this session, this person would help you understand exactly how to put that into play. Then we have an additional Zoom session that would happen a week after the class. And this session, trust me, you don't want to even miss this particular one after attending the strategy factory, because in this session we'll talk about business networking. Some of us, we go to places to network, but we don't get it right because we don't know the art of networking, right? There are strategies to doing these things. So you would learn that, and then art of selling, and then there are some really, really mind-blowing things that Mr. Ezike usually share, during some of these sessions. So you would have access to all of this. The strategy factory is currently selling at 300,000 naira. And for some of us that are out of Lagos, by the way, some of us that are out of Lagos and we are thinking, oh, how do we get all of these benefits? Please be rest assured that you would get everything I've mentioned. That if you join virtually, you will get everything that I've mentioned. And in addition to that, instead of getting a one-on-one session, you would get 2 from us to compensate for you not making it to the class physically. The strategy factory, like I mentioned, is selling at 300,000 naira at the moment. But for the benefit of those of us that are on this call, we have a 10% discount tonight. So you don't have to pay the full amount right away. You can do a deposit and then make it up before the class. So if you want to pay now, you can pay into the account showing on the screen, or you can send a WhatsApp message to this number. If you said interested to this number now on WhatsApp, you will get a call from somebody from the team. Either tonight, you will get a message at the late tonight, and then you will get a call, tomorrow morning to get you into class. So, funny story, I joined Lim Simple when the strategy factory was selling for as low as 50,000 naira. I'm sure some of us will be shocked that a class of 300,000 naira was selling for 50,000 naira. But guess what? Some of us will still not take advantage of paying now. The cheapest you can find this product is the amount it is selling at this time. Trust me. because as at this time December, it was selling at 220. See, somebody joined when it was 100,000 naira. So God, I know I sold a couple of tickets at 50, 70,000 naira, 100, and then 150, and then 180. These prices are not determined even by Lim Simple, because we host our events at top-notch, event centers. Think about this event happening in a co-hotel. It's different, it's unique. So all of these costs were considered before this price was arrived at. So if you think that the strategy factory, or you don't want to attend now, you want to attend later, you have to also think about the costs, right? This is the cheapest you would be able to pay for this kind of training anytime from now. So if you think that you're interested, or you want to be a part of the strategy factory, just send interested to this number on WhatsApp now. Send interested to this what please, Mr. Joseph Ian, please send interested to the number on the screen, 09090008887, and you will get a message tonight on how to get you registered. Please send interested to this number and you will get a message on how to. And for those of us that will be seeing in class, I'm excited because this is the best time to be at the strategy factory. It's the beginning of the year. You need all the knowledge you can get. You need all the strategies you can get. You need all the networking you can get to, push your business, to help you, start to build a bigger business you currently have. So I'm looking forward to seeing every single person. We have room to accommodate everybody. So I'm looking forward to seeing us class. I'm looking forward to seeing our businesses grow. We have recorded over 52 people who currently do over £1 billion in their revenue. You could be one of them. You could be one of them. And it's not far. It's not far. You're not far from doing that. You just need to get into the right. You just need to do the right things. You need to get the right strategies, and you're not far from doing that for your business, and even doing more for your business. So I'd like to take a few questions so that we can call it a day. Anybody has any question? Any question? Mr. Joseph, you want to say something? Okay, if there are no questions, thank you so much for joining this evening. It's a privilege to have everybody here this evening, and I look forward to seeing us all on the 31st of January at the hotel for the Strategy Factory Workshop. Looking forward to seeing you all there. Have a wonderful. Okay, Miss Nafisat, the class is 300,000 naira, but you get a 10% discount on the price. You get a 10% discount on the price. So you get to pay at 270,000 naira instead of 300. Then for those of us who can make it to Lagos, yes. So like I mentioned, you would, if you pay the same price, if you pay that amount, you will get an additional one-on-one session. So every other person will get one-on-one session. They will get one post-strategy session after the event. Or if you cannot make it physically to the class, then you will get an additional post-strategy session, a session where you can engage somebody, one of our consultants personally. The meeting, the recording would be available by tomorrow. Yeah, should be available tomorrow, so it will be sent across to everybody. So, Mr. Solomon, you can send a message to this number, to the number on the screen, and you will get a call. Somebody will call you so that we can, take you through what you need to do. Just send a message to this number. Send interested to this number. Accommodation. As a matter of fact, the minimum room in a hotel as we speak is not less than 200,000 naira. How do we put you in that kind of room and still teach you? There's no strategy again. We'll just put you in the room and everybody will go home. Please, it's not residential. It's not residential, please. Yes, you can participate virtually, Mr. Joshua Oduyeru. You can participate virtually, like I mentioned, and you will get all all the benefits listed, for every other person, plus an additional one-on-one session, right? So just send a message to this number, and you would get a call on what you need to do on the modalities and the likes. Just send interested to this number 0909888887, and you will get all the answers that you need to get you registered. Thank you, everybody, once again for your time this evening. I appreciate your patience with me, and I look forward to seeing every single person here at the Strategy Factory.